hello, my friend, and welcome back to another episode of Catching Your Breath, the podcast. I'm Steve Austin, and I am so glad you're here. Happy holidays, friend. If you're in the States, you've just finished Thanksgiving and are looking forward to Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is that you celebrate. So happy holidays to you, and thanks for being here. Today, I want to talk to you about critics and criticism. Critics and criticism. Yeah, yuck, I know. I just feel like we're here in the holiday season, and whether you're gathering in person, social distancing, of course, or you're gathering over Zoom or FaceTime, it can still be stressful, even if it's virtual. Dealing with family. Oh boy, that can be tough. And I just want to share with you some ways to deal with the critics in your life first. Then I want to ask you some questions that should help you gain a better perspective on how to get the most from the critics in your life. And then we'll wrap up with a few minutes of affirmation, meditation time, and hopefully that will help you release your fears of disappointing other people. So let me ask you this. Have you ever gotten so excited about something only to be shot down by the people that you thought would support you? It happens all the time. All the time. So maybe you decided you wanted to train for a marathon, only to be reminded that you're not athletic and you quit on the last few things that you tried. Or maybe you wanted to start a small business and they only told you that small businesses fail, that you shouldn't bother because you don't have any business experience anyway. Whatever the situation is that fits your life, life is full of critics. And the more you accomplish, the more people that you have in your life trying to stop you in one way or another. So I want to give you 10 ways right out of the gate to deal with the critics in your life, to try to overcome the critics in your life and live your best life. Number 1, understand the real reason for their criticism. So when you try to be more than you are, more than you have been, it can make people in your life uncomfortable. They're used to you being a certain way. And maybe it bothers them that you might become successful while they're too afraid to change. And who wants to justify their own mediocrity? So understand the real reason behind why they're criticizing you. It doesn't make it right, but at least you can understand it. Number 2, avoid reacting. So people are only rewarded for trying to hold you back if you quit or if you get upset, if you react. So if you stick to your plan, if you avoid responding in an emotional way and just ignore them and just keep going, who knows what kind of surprise you might give them. So understand the reason for their criticism. Avoid reacting. Number 3, consider keeping your big plans to yourself. You know, there are a lot of success gurus out there that recommend announcing your grand plans to the world as some way to sort of hold yourself accountable. But there are studies that show that this hurts more people than it helps. Because when you let the world know what you want to accomplish, then the critics crawl out of the woodwork. So maybe keep those grand plans to yourself, even if it's just for a while, even until you say, hey, look what I've been doing the last 30 days, every day consistently, right? Oh yeah, I've been going for that run. Or, hey, look at this business plan I've drawn up and here's the backers and I've already put an offer down on a building. Maybe you make a few steps in the right direction before you announce those grand plans. Number 4, don't dwell on the criticism. There is no reason to sit around and stew over it. Let it go, let it go. And put your attention on something that's useful, something that's enjoyable, but don't dwell on it. Number 5, consider the source of the criticism. Look, if Stephen King has something to say about your horror novel, maybe you want to listen. But if Uncle Joe the plumber is criticizing your plans for becoming an architect, why would you listen to him? Number 6, find the right people to quote unquote criticize you. Find the right critics. Often people call these mentors. So find an expert that's willing to take a look at what you're doing and provide useful advice. So we go back to Stephen King and the horror novel. The right mentor can save you a lot of time. The right mentor can speed up your success. And there's nothing better than constructive criticism that you asked for. Number 7, become even more focused. Use criticism as motivation to focus and work even harder. Show everyone what you can do, and then you have the last laugh. Number 8, find people who truly support you. Most people wish they had more friends, more true friends, more genuine friends. What people really need is just a couple of friends that want what's best for you. Bette Midler won Emmys, she's won Grammys, Golden Globes, all sorts of awards. And she said that the hardest part of winning any of her awards was finding someone that was truly happy for her. Isn't that incredible? Number 9, cut the critics out of your life if you can. If you have things that you want to accomplish, there is no room for those who are trying to stop you. So maybe you're hesitant to cut your critical mom out of your life. But there is no reason to hold on to that negative friend that you rarely see since high school. So if you can cut them, cut them. And finally, change the subject. Get your critic talking about themselves. Most of the time, they love that. Get them talking about something that's going on in their own life, and pretty soon they'll probably forget about yours altogether. Listen, if you have big plans for your life, you're going to have to deal with a lot of critics. But remember this, most people choose comfort over growth. And those same people are secretly frustrated with themselves because of it. So your choice to live a bigger life, a freer life, is really an unpleasant reminder to the critics who have settled. So don't listen to their bullshit. Don't allow their issues to derail your dreams. Follow your dreams. Go forth. Live the life that you desire. Criticism, it feels like a constant in life. There's not hiding from it. So it's really important to learn how to deal with critics and criticism effectively. Good criticism, like I mentioned, constructive criticism that you've asked for is rare, but it is a gift. Constructive criticism can take years off your learning curve. But I want to ask you a few questions to sort of help you get clear on criticism and understand what to do about it. So number 1, ask yourself this. Why do I dislike criticism? What about criticism makes me feel threatened or otherwise upset? What about criticism makes me feel threatened or otherwise upset? Number 2, who are the regular critics in my life? Make a list. Write their names down. Who are the regular critics in my life? What types of critics are they? How should I handle them? Write it down. Make a plan. Number 3, I think this one is so important. It's why I've just launched this brand new Breathe With Me podcast. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Number 3 is, how mindful am I? What can I do each day to be more mindful? If you don't know how to practice mindfulness, you don't get it, you don't understand it, you'd like to meditate, but you don't know where to start, seriously, go check out the Breathe With Me podcast. I've just launched it last week. There are 7 guided meditations so far. I'll be adding a new one every week. You can listen on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your favorite show. Breathe With Me. All right, number 4, how resilient am I? How would my life change if I were twice as resilient? You know, resiliency it's like the rubber band of the soul. If you're resilient, it's how far can I stretch you and then let you go and you return back to that natural shape? Or will you snap? Are you resilient or not? Number 5, how have I dealt with criticism in the past? What have been the advantages and disadvantages? Number 6, who do I have in my life that offers constructive criticism regarding my current goals? Those are the good critics. Those are the ones you want to keep around, friend. Number 7, who are the irrelevant critics in my life? And what is my strategy for dealing with them? You know, most of the time, we just take life as it comes. We take the criticism, we take the abuse, we take the trauma as it comes. But what if you had a strategy for setting boundaries, for being really clear on who you are, the values that matter to you, the people that matter to you, and the people that don't, the opinions that matter, and the opinions that don't? It leads us to number 8, our last question. What is my plan going forward for dealing with criticism, rejection, and critics? So those 8 questions will help you get clear on the specific kinds of criticism and critics in your own life. For the last few minutes, I want to lead you through an affirmation. This might feel a little bit like a meditation. Maybe you've heard me do one of these before. But this one is on releasing your fears of disappointing others. So I want to invite you for a couple of minutes, maybe 5 at the most, to get comfortable. If you need to pause this to get comfortable, maybe you want to lay down, maybe you want to sit on a meditation stool, get cozy on the couch, somewhere that you can be quiet and uninterrupted for a few minutes. And I want you to meditate on the words of this affirmation. If you want to close your eyes, go for it. If you want to put your hands in your lap, great. Why don't we start with a couple of deep breaths together? We're going to breathe in through the nose, hold our breath for a couple seconds, and then release it completely. Are you ready? Here we go. Breathe in. Hold it. And release. One more time. I release my fears of disappointing others. Living my life to please others is both unnecessary and unfulfilling. So I let go of my tendency to keep my opinions to myself because I fear disappointing them. I reserve the right to voice my opinion. As a child, speaking my mind may have been out of line, but I am now well into adulthood and can exercise my right to respectfully disagree with others. after years of allowing myself to take a back seat, I can finally realize that I am keeping myself content, and that is number one on my to-do list. Although standing up for what I think is right can be scary at times, I find that I sleep more soundly at night when I know I have done the right thing. I am fully capable of making my own decisions. Let's hear that again. I am fully capable of making my own decisions. I'm going to say it one more time. I am fully capable of making my own decisions. Those who feel like they have the authority to dictate my decisions have another thing coming. From now on, I am calling my own shots. I am the authority in my life. I can find a balance between keeping the peace and living my life according to my own standards without intentionally offending other people. It's okay if others disagree with my choices. That's their choice. But I can make the decision that is right for me, even when others disagree. Today, this day, I choose to live my life according to what is right for me. I fully comprehend that I can voice my opinions, make my own choices, and disagree with others without it leading to confrontation. And as you're in this calm, centered space, I want to ask you 3 reflection questions. Number 1, why are you afraid of disappointing other people? Where does that come from? Number 2, do you allow others to take advantage of you because you're afraid of confrontation? And number 3, how can you build up your confidence to stand up for yourself? Friend, I'm so thankful that you've joined me today. This is a tough one. Criticism isn't easy to talk about. Disappointing other people, it's not something we like to think about. But it matters because you matter. Because your desires and your dreams and your goals and your story, your journey, it matters. So take a deep breath. Know that you're enough. And just stand up for yourself in one situation today. One situation, one conversation where you wouldn't perhaps normally. Stand up for yourself and see what happens. See how you feel. Look, if I can ever help you, I'd be honored to coach you through a tough situation, a tough relationship. If you need to process some forgiveness, whatever it is for you, check out my site at IamSteveAustin.com. There are courses there. There's information about coaching. I'd be honored to partner with you. And I appreciate you listening. Be sure and check out the Breathe With Me podcast. About 10 minutes-ish per episode of guided meditation to start your day or your week centered and grounded and calm. This will be my last episode for the year, and I will see you in the new year. Happy holidays. Stay safe. Know that you are loved. See you next time.